Hello, my loves. Just thought I'd pop on just for a little bit. It's quite early in the morning. I've been rudely awoken by my aching bones. So I've woken up before 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning, my loves. It's not right. But my hip's slightly better now, but now my back hurts. Now I've come to this realization that I think it's the bed, perhaps. It feels as though during my sleep it's beating the living daylights out of me, although my wife has no problems. But I think the bed isn't right for me, let's put it that way. We haven't been getting on for a long time, and I think we're at the end of our relationship now, and so every evening it just gives me absolute hell. Beats the shit out of me, I think. Doesn't matter which way I lie, it starts throwing punches. So I've tried sleeping on my sides, different sides. That was throwing my hip out. Now I'm on my back. It's throwing my back out. So I'm joining the dots here. I think the only thing now is to invest in something that's like some kind of space age construction that looks after the older gentleman. I'm also wearing my wife's dressing gown because I don't have one myself. In fact, this is probably too much information, but I don't wear a stitch when I'm abed, if you will. I don't like the feeling of clothes upon me. Even a loincloth chafes. So, and I don't have a dressing gown or even a smoking jacket, my loves. My wife keeps trying to get me to get one. I think she's probably tired of seeing me walking around the place as a bit of a wastrel, I suppose. But anyway, that's another story. You can fill in the gaps with your sordid imagination. Anyway, I haven't come on to talk about my naked bedroom activities. I thought I'd come on just to say that yesterday was a traumatic day. So as many of you know, we're in the process of moving house. So this room hasn't been touched yet because I had this idea I'll do this thing where it's all here and then it's all gone, but I don't think that's going to work because it's going to be a fucking nightmare to do. So, but there will be. I'm going to say goodbye to the room properly in another video because it's such a dear place to me, this room. It's seen a lot of action over the years, if you will. But we'll look at that in another video for those of you who worship this space as I do. I think it's a wonderful room. And I may even explore the environs that exist beyond this door, because this isn't an internal door. It goes off into the fantasy realm within which I live. So we can have a look at that another time. But yes, the move is afoot and we're trying to remove a lot of shit. And the problem is, as my wife now knows, I'm a bit of a hoarder. So under the bed, there's 3 great big boxes full of all of my shit. And it's stuff that I've accumulated from childhood, really. I've got stuff there from when I was in primary school. Now, I've had purges in the past where I was getting rid of useless stuff, or what I deemed to be useless at this point in my life. And so yesterday was another purge. But it was traumatic because I'm a very sensitive soul, and everything I keep of this nature, it's things that remind me of other times, I suppose, the person I was then. And so obviously everyone throughout their life, they change who they are to a certain extent. I think there's normally a core of your personality, what makes you you, that is preserved throughout. However, you do change, don't you? And seeing aspects of my previous personality, or who I was, I found hard to come to terms with. Not because I was a fucking horrible brute in the past, my loves, but but perhaps I wasn't. I don't know. We all have failings, and I think I've always berated myself for my failings, or what I perceive to be my failings, and encountering them just by looking at things, interacting with objects, and reading passages of diaries. My wife found a diary I wrote when I was 12, my loves. I only made it as far as March, but it makes for interesting reading. It appeared to be, she was laughing because every day I say, got up early to play on the Amiga. So I was playing video games, if you will, or computer games, before I did anything else. Things haven't really changed that much. And then I would go over, feed the neighbour's cats, and get 95 pence for doing so. I don't know why she didn't give me the full £1, but there we are. She was a bit of a tight bitch. No, she was okay. She was a bit of a problem, I would say. What am I talking about? Anyway, that was my neighbour 40 years ago. Anyway, what am I talking about? Yeah, so it was traumatic, and it put me into a kind of almost a fugue state throughout the day. The day only improved when we decided to draw a line under the day's activities, get some fish and chips, and neck a load of cider. But I looked at those 3 boxes, which I did reduce to a certain extent. I did manage to throw some stuff out, but I looked at those boxes and I thought, I won't look at anything that's inside those boxes for another 5 years probably. They're going to come along with us, but they're time capsules, you know. And I said to my wife, I said, look, I'm looking at those now. I want to just destroy all of that. And she said, no, you can't do that. You know, she's got the same thing. She carries stuff with her. We all do, don't we? To a certain extent. Some of you, maybe you don't. You just raise everything behind you as you go. And that, in some ways, I do that. Mentally, I think. I try not to carry baggage through, although it's inevitable because my mind is a fucking nightmare. But largely I manage that. But I can't throw away these morsels that unlock other memories. Some nice, some not so nice. So anyway, yeah, we're going to be lugging 3 heavy boxes of shit to our new house. They will be stored in the garage and potentially never seen again. So yesterday felt like an achievement of sorts, but was also not, if you will. It felt as though I spent most of the day chucking out a little bit of stuff I probably shouldn't be bringing along with me anyway. But anyway, the other thing I'll say is that output from me for the next 3 weeks will be odd. So what I'm hoping to do is this coming week, I'm going to record as much stuff as possible. I want to do a few more things before I leave this lovely room. And then I'll dribble the devils out for over the next few weeks, because after the end of this coming week, I won't have any time, and my computer probably won't even be here, my loves. It will be in a box or something. So yeah, just to prepare you. Although I may give you a few little videos using my telephone. Perhaps I'll do that. But I'll still be watching videos, of course, and all of you lovely buggers that are making videos that I watch regularly, or listen to mostly when I'm doing other things. Not because I don't want to fully engage with you, my loves, but it's time, isn't it? I'm sure those of you who do YouTube channels, I think we all share a love of interacting with YouTube itself and fellow creators and all of that. I watch that far more than I engage with anything else on television or watching films or anything like that. But yeah, time is an issue when you've got other things going on. But luckily, the kind of things I like doing, I can listen in the background, so I'm still interacting. I've just watched a lovely video by Paul, actually, at Geeks Love Dogs. He called it a rant. It was a rant actually, but I really enjoyed it, and the outcome of his rant was very positive, I thought, because he's realised that he's found his community, and it's all of us, isn't it? Just people that like older books, I would say, that read predominantly science fiction. We are a superior race, or a superior breed of readers, shall we say? Well, but yeah, we read around and we read all kinds of things. But older stuff tends to be. I don't really read anything beyond 2010, and even that is bit iffy. Anyway, let's leave it there. My mouth is as dry as parchment. I haven't even had a cup of tea yet. But there we are. Anyway, thank you for watching this, if you have. And I'm feeling much better today. Anyway, cheerio, my loves and ones, all the way up, if you will. Cheers and cheerio.